So we are studying why do we fall ill? That is the you see page number 180. Some many questions are given. List any three reasons why you would think that you are sick and ought to see a doctor. If only one of these symptoms were present, would you still to go to the doctor? So the question is, if only one of these symptoms, generally we feel sick when any symptom is generated in our body. One symptoms or more than one symptoms may be generated in our body. So at that time we think that we are suffer from the diseases. So suppose three symptoms are there. What are these symptoms? So they are the first question, having headache, shivering and body temperature. Which question number? Question first. Question first. So three symptoms. Three symptoms in our body. First one. That is having headache, one symptom is having headache, shivering, and high temperature. This is one symptom. And next one, having loose motion. Second symptoms may be having loose motion, means diarrhea. Means having the diarrhea. And third symptom may be having wound with pus. Third symptom, having wound with pus. Suppose these are three symptoms. If one person having only one symptoms as having headache, pain in the head, and shivering and high temperature, this is symptoms of the malaria. This is the symptoms of the malaria. So if one person having such symptoms or having this loose motion, and third having the wound with the pus, a same person may have all the three symptoms or may have only one symptoms or may have the three symptoms. So what a patient should have to do? He had to consult the doctor immediately. If he has only one symptom or more than one symptom, so he should consult the doctor what happened? One should one should consult to doctor. If one symptoms or more symptoms are there, so one should consult the doctor. Now next question. What question is there? In which of the following case do you think the long term effects on your health? Second question you can see. Second question. Now second. In which of the following case you think the long term effect on your health are likely to be most unpleasant? These are if you get jaundice. So first one, if you get jaundice. This is one case. Another case, if you get lice. If you get lice. And third, if you get a scene. If you get so three situations are there. So if you get jaundice, if you get lice, if you get the acine. So in this second case, lice is there. Simply that is the ectoparasite. So simply you can remove this by the hand picking, or if more lice are there, you can use some medicines like the medical etc. to kill the lice. And in case of the acine, this is the mark on the skins. This is the structures may be found on the skin. So these do not cause the long term effect. These do not cause long term effect on our health. But only jaundice causes a long term effect on our health, which is the, you know about the hepatitis, that effect on the our liver. So this first, in case of the first, jaundice causes long term effect on our health, because you know that having the effect on the liver, you know that is the hepatitis. This causes the long term effect on liver, and that causes the weakness, indigestion, or some other symptoms maybe, or other effect may be seen in the disease. So jaundice causes long term effect on our health. The question reason why it is given. So in this case, in case of jaundice, a patient need bedridden or for the recovery takes much more time. But in these cases, in two cases, no such happens. So in this way, the jaundice causes the long-term effect. Now next question. Now we have to see the question, page number, and the page number, uh, page number 187. Now we have to see the page number 187. Page number 187. Some questions are given, so we can see the page number 187. So now see page 187. So that is the first question. What the first question is given. So why we are normally advised to take bland and nourishing food when we are sick? So what happens when we fall ill? Our one or more systems are not working the properly, and but we need the energy. We need the energy. So food is also needed. In that situation, we need the food which may be easily digested. So doctor advised us to take the light food in that situation, because at that time our systems are not properly working, just like our the digestive system that is not working properly. And if we are taking the that is fat rich diet, then it will be difficult to digest. So in this way, in that situation, doctor advised us to take the light food. So what are the different way means by which infections disease are the spread? What are the different means by which infectious diseases are spread? So question second we see the means by the infected disease spread. Infectious disease. How this infected disease is spread? As we have studied by air, by water, by physical contact, as just like the sexual act, and by the vectors. So these are the ways by which the infected diseases spread. So these are the ways by which infected disease is spread from one person to another person. So last question, what precautions can you take in your school to reduce the incidence of the infectious disease? What precautions can you take in your school to reduce the incidence of infectious disease? So one is the in the school, how infectious disease may be spread, what may be your the advice. So third question in the what precautions in your schools. Third question, precautions in school. What precautions we can take in the school to protect from the infectious diseases? So one important thing is there. Many diseases spread through water. So there must be clean drinking water. Must be clean drinking water. One thing is there, that is the need of clean drinking water, and to tell students about the different means of the spreading of diseases, to aware the students about different means of spreading diseases, different means of spreading diseases. So students should have to know how the spread can diseases can be spread, and also students should know about they should know about infected diseases, infectious diseases. And next one is they should have to vaccination. This is very important thing. One is the vaccination, and infected student should be isolated. Should be isolated. Here isolated means they avoid if any student is the infected, then they may remain there the home till become the healthy. So infected student should be allowed to study from home. So these are the few precautions, and the schools should have the mess and to prevent from the vector-borne diseases. So they should have the proper drainage system, proper drainage system. Water should not collect here and there, and messes at the door to protect from the vector. So proper drainage system. So these are the few precautions which should be applied in the school to protect from these diseases.